Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I'm completely devastated by what happened tonight. And this story, guys, about a guy, he handles his situation like a boss. When he catches his fiancée red-handed making out with some other dude on the dance floor of some bar they were at. You're going to see, guys, he is 31, she's 29, together for 10 years, engaged for 2, and they have a 2-year-old kid. And he's been great to her, supportive of her and all that, and yet still she repays him in this way. And like I said before, he handles this like a boss and kicks her ass to the curb. Handles this in a way that all guys should, that are good men, did everything they could, sacrificed for their girl, and were treated this way. Now wait till you see this story, guys. I'm not going to reveal it now, but you'll see soon enough what this girl does for a living. What she's going to school for to do for a living, and she behaves in this way. It will not surprise you at all. So definitely a good story here to show how guys handle things, a man handling it right. And how also a guy realizing, you know what? I don't deserve this shit. I'm a prize. I'm a great guy. I'm not going to listen to her BS story, because let me tell you, he's going to get a BS story out of this, but he doesn't buy it for a second. Definitely a good one here. So it starts off, he says here, my fiance, a 29-year-old female, now ex-fiance, we've been together for over a decade and engaged for about 2.5 years. High school sweetheart, 2 years ago she gave birth to our son. Immediately my question is he sure this is his son? Come back to that later. Since then, she decided to go to nursing school so her son can have a better future. To make this possible, I've worked overtime, cooked dinner every night, watched my son every afternoon, put him to bed myself, and done household chores, bent over backwards for this family. To give her a chance to pass those rigorous classes so we can get ahead in life. So number 1, nursing school. As I'm sure many of you are aware, there is certainly a stereotype when it comes to nurses. I did a whole video on one about a month or so ago about a guy who wrote in, a male nurse, worked in lots of different hospitals and medical centers all over the country, and revealed the reality, how things are with the nurses. And he made it clear that's not all, but a hell of a lot. So it doesn't surprise me she's going into this line of work and she's going to do what you see. Also, notice he's bending over backwards for her, taking care of everything, the kid, the chores, the bills, everything for her. Now, that is an honorable thing and a dream come true to any woman. But the problem is when a guy is that bending over backwards for someone, unfortunately that kindness so often is perceived as weakness. Yes, he's helping her so she can work hard instead to get those exams passed and all that. But no, she can cook a freaking lasagna or a steak on the weekend. She can fold some laundry. She can do some things. The guy should never be that accommodating. I don't care who it is, okay? He has a life, and watch how this is repaired. Tonight, literally a few hours ago, my life came crumbling down. One of the few nights we get to ourselves since our son was born, we decided to go out to a bar/dance club with some friends. At one point, I tell her I'm going outside to smoke my vape. Quit smoking, bro. She says she's going to dance with her girlfriend. I tell her, all right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Now notice this is very brief. Halfway out, I realize I'd forgotten the vape in her purse as she smokes it occasionally. I come back into the dance floor and find her making out with a complete stranger. He's gone for what? A couple minutes at best to walk out of the club, go out and smoke his vape and realize, oh shit, I forgot it, and come back in. A minute, minimum 2 minutes max, and she's already making out with some dude in the dance floor. Someone that does this isn't the first time. Someone that can just so easily do that, number 1, says how she feels about him, but 2, this is probably something she's accustomed to doing. I sit back and stare in complete shock for a few seconds. I can't even process what is happening. Then I snap back into reality and split her off from this effing guy. I lost it. I screamed to her, what the F is wrong with you, and left the bar. Good for him. He didn't beat anybody up, even though no one can blame him. Separated them, yelled at her right then and there. But you heard in the beginning all the things he does for her. They get a rare night out, have some fun with friends, and he steps away for a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and she's making out with some chatter-tyrer on the dance floor. What does it say about her? Do you think this is the first time she's done this so easily and casually? Oh, hell no. And it can be argued that maybe this is some dude she actually knows. Plan for him to be there, I don't know what. But then again, gals like this can just so easily just start making out with a dude like that. My family, my son's family, destroyed for what? It makes zero sense to me. I am so devastated beyond words. As a child of divorce, this is my worst effing nightmare. I gave her and my son my all. Every fiber of my being went into being a good father and husband. All that thrown away for a drunken hookup with a stranger. Yeah, how many times have we heard this story? It really is a shame, because this guy, even though he, in my opinion, went a little too above and beyond the call of duty for her, and she clearly isn't worth it, because I do not believe for a second this is her first rodeo in that department. And this is how he's treated. This guy, the way he behaves, is a dream come true to so many women, but yet so many would treat him in such a way. He doesn't deserve this. I'm reeling. I feel sick. My mom has my son for the night, thank God, but I'm just lost. This all happened 3 hours ago, and I'm so heartbroken I can't think straight. I locked her out of the house and told her to go to her parents' house. Good. A lot of guys would leave. I'm like, oh, no. You get the F out. She's begging me to listen to reason that he took advantage of her. Oh, for goodness sake. Maybe if I hadn't sat there and watched her, I'd have fallen for that gaslight. Begged and pleaded. It's his fault, not mine. Really. Because this guy walked in and saw you clearly locking lips, enjoying every minute of it before he separated you two. If he forced her, then he'd kiss her and immediately she'd be like, get away. And that would have been the end of it. And the girlfriends would be chasing him, fighting him off. No, it's bullshit. She just didn't know how long he was there watching this thing go down, which you'll find out a little bit more later. I don't even know what I want from this post. I just need to vent. I'm broken, mostly for my son that will never know what growing up with his family intact. The same nightmare I lived through. I'm so effing shocked and hurt, I just don't know. And that is the end of his first original post. And then he goes on, because this guy gets a hell of a lot of comments from guys trying to help him out. Really nice people out there trying to help this dude out. And he responds to some. So I'm now going to include some of his long responses to get more into what's going on with him, the ex, and all that. And his first comment or update, he says, "Thank you all for your kind words and advice. I just got a few hours of sleep, just a few points. I will never take her back, ever. Good, bro. It feels like a dagger in my heart every time I think about what happened. It will haunt me forever. My son is a little carbon copy of me, so paternity is definitely not in question." Okay, I mean, you can't be 100% sure, but if he looks just like him, the odds are pretty high that this is his kid. I'm just reeling, trying to figure out what is next. I'll be meeting my mom and brother later to talk some of this through. I'll definitely consult a lawyer and begin to pick up the pieces. I assume we'll sell the house and move back to our parents. Her parents now know, and soon everyone else will know as well. Thank you again so much. Well, good for him for sticking to his guns. It's over, because a lot of guys would stick around because they don't want the kid to grow up in a broken home, or because they just don't want to believe their girl would do that. They make excuses for her. She was drunk or something like that. No. Even if she was drunk, which clearly she was, doesn't matter. Because guess what? Alcohol almost always is a factor in these stories, and also an excuse. But what I've observed throughout my life is that alcohol just amplifies what people are already thinking or feeling anyway. So somebody says something and they're drunk and they say, "Oh, I was just drunk." Well, no, bullshit. That's what you really think or feel. And also as well as their actions. Another update, he says, a lot of people are questioning if she knew this guy. Believe it or not, we were quite close. Like, share everything close. This is why this happening was an absolute shock to me. I'm assuming he means that she and I were super close. Therefore, we share everything, and this was a shock to me. Well, sadly, this guy clearly didn't know her as well as he thought he did. And as the saying goes, once a cheater, always a cheater. And the way she just so easily went into making out with this guy tells me that, like I said, this wasn't her first rodeo. And by the way, they were with friends. I'm assuming her friends. And I don't hear anything about her friends tearing this guy off her. I truly believe this was an entirely random guy, and he made a move on her, and she accepted because she was absolutely hammered. Doesn't matter. I've known for a long time that when she drinks, a switch flips in her. She becomes like someone else, mean or sloppy in a not so flattering way. We don't drink all that often, and for that reason. Well, you know what? That's not your problem anymore. And guys, by the way, it's a perfect opportunity to mention this, as if you haven't figured it out already. If you are a dating and relationship type of guy, and you're involved with a gal that has substance abuse problems, or when, say, she drinks, she completely loses it, the way he describes here, that's not your problem. It is not your job to be her savior, to fix her white knight, any of that shit. Because you all know darn well, if you watch me long enough, what happens to those guys that decide to try to be the savior to the damaged girl, whether she has her own emotional or mental problems, or substance abuse problems, or nasty reactions to substances when she actually takes them. It's not your problem. Don't try to fix her, because there's a never-ending supply of dumbass white knight SIMPS blue pill types will be more than happy to take her on and fix her. Not your job. I try to help as many guys as I can on this channel, but I cannot save the world. But I can help out the few that do watch me. At this point in the night, we had split off from the larger group to go to a more dance-oriented bar. I danced with the ex, and then that's when I decided to go out for a smoke, and she started dancing with the friend. This all happened within a short time of arriving at the club, so I really doubt she knew him. Perhaps this was her way of seeking validation or some shit that I'll never understand. Attention to validation, what I tell you guys. By the way, she is 29 years old, almost hitting that 3-0. Women are terrified of that 3-0, especially women that have had a kid. Some of the most crazy validation stories I hear about are the women in their 30s. Now realize I'm past my prime. Maybe I had a kid or two. My body is different now that I had a couple of kids. So I really need to hear that guys are still attracted to me, that I'm still desirable. Right here. And guess what, guys? You're not going to understand it, because don't even try to figure it out and understand it. Our SEX life was great. I always made sure to cater to her needs or quirks. It hurts to my core, but I can say I'm grateful that I saw and can see her for the homewrecker that she is. As for those saying to stay in the relationship, hell no. I have no room in my heart for forgiveness. No mercy, bitch. I want her to die inside every time she looks into my son's eyes and sees a little me, the way I'm dying inside right now. Yeah, of course there are some people in the comment section, give her a second chance, she was drunk. Bullshit. He'd take her back, and not that I think this is her first rodeo, they'd make her lose even more respect for him, and there'd be more of this shit. And he's never going to get that idea, that image out of his head. And if there's no trust, there's no relationship, period. And I will turn all the energy I expended trying to keep a happy home into improving myself. As of Monday, she'll be dropping out of nursing school. My days of supporting this household are at an end. Ha! The great thing is they're not married. You know, obviously they're going to be splitting up probably custody of the kid, so he'll have to obviously pay something, which of course he would, because it's his kid. And probably a good idea that they have a agreed upon thing in writing as to how much he's going to pay every month for the child support. Otherwise, she keeps saying, well, Billy needs this or Billy needs that, but in reality, Billy, the son, doesn't need that. She just wants to go buy a new freaking purse. Probably a good idea to have in writing, I'm going to pay this much per month, end of story. But thank God they're not married. Her parents are absolutely livid with her. They saw above all how much I did for her. They babysit my son every day, and are heartbroken over this. Her mother texted me saying she was so sorry and to please come and speak to her today. Still not so sure on that. Of course, the mother doesn't want this to break up. He cannot get back with her. I will definitely be seeking therapy because I'm an emotional wreck right now and I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Revenge is sweet, but nothing's going to fill that hole where my family should be. Thanks again for all the support, everyone. So I want to say this. He's 31 and she's 29, and they've been together for 10 years. So that is approximately as close to 1/3 of his life he's been with this girl. That's huge. And they have a 2-year-old kid together. He is not going to get over this overnight. This is going to take years to get over her and the betrayal and all that. And he will. But the best thing he can do is, A, don't listen to these jackasses saying, give her a second chance, take her back. That is not happening. And stick close to the people that have his back, have his side. listen to his lawyer in terms of, with regards to how things are going to go with the child and child support and all that, but thank God he's not married to her. Now they've been, one question I have is, how long they've been living together? Because I wonder if the common law marriage could come into play, which he could then end up owing her something. I don't know. That we shall find out if he continues his updates here. And beyond that, take it day by day. That's all he can do, and that's that. And he will get better. If he doesn't work out, I'd recommend he works out, hanging out with family, hanging out with bros, and he will get better day by day. It may seem impossible, but you will move on. I think there's a guy out there watching this right now that has been cheated on in their life. It's happened to me in my long past, and I know what it feels like. But you do move on. Now, a few comments here to wrap this up. We got an assortment of comments. One guy says here, to be honest, I wonder how many strangers she has hooked up with in the past behind your back, and you'll never know. It just seems too easy for her to kiss another guy tonight when you were outside. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, I mean, sure, a drunken idiot can kiss another guy, but it just seems just the way he described it seems a little too easy for her to do that. Another guy says here, these comments are right on the mark. This was no stranger. She knew this guy and figured that she could make out with him for a bit while you were out in your vape pen. She had to have told him you guys were going out and you were where you would have been. She's been with the guy before when you let out to blow some steam. Get out of the marriage now. I don't know if she's been with this guy before, but you never know. Another one. This is from a woman. Woman says here, first of all, I'm so sorry. I can only imagine the pain and shock you're going through right now. She has shown you her true colors, and this most likely wasn't her first time she's cheated. This is a woman here, right here. This wasn't her first time cheating. It's the first time you caught her. As hard as it is, you need to end it. You don't deserve putting up with this and being anxious. She'll do it again. She will. There's someone out there with the same morals and values you have that would never think of doing that to you. That's who you deserve. Good luck. Again, notice the girl here says, oh no, this isn't her first rodeo. She's done this before. And to get out. And here's a comment from what I call a dumbass, telling him to think about giving her another chance, which is absurd, but I'm going to read it anyway, just to show you some of these people think. Dumbass says, I think you really need to talk to her, not for your sake, or not for her sake, but your son's. His little secure world is about to implode. All he knows is mommy and daddy. Give her an opportunity to speak. You are really emotionally invested here. Trust me, divorce is devastating for kids. My grown children still feel sadness about growing up in a broken home. Did she ever give you the vibes before that night that she was unfaithful? A man knows his woman. Really? If this was a one-time thing, you may want to understand why she did this. You mentioned she becomes a different person when she drinks. This could be a sign of a mental disorder, in which case she may not be able to control her behavior. Stop giving her excuses. Look at what you have built with this woman and your child, and ask yourself, is it worth throwing away for a kiss with another man? Smack. Fucking idiot. No. Number one, there's no way this is her first time. Okay, this has happened before. You can just tell with her ease of doing this. Okay? And number two, if she has a drinking problem, and this is how she gets with that, it's not his job to fix her. Number three, they're not married. Number four, he's never going to get past this. And number five, also, yes, separated parents is a shame for the kids. Now, remember, they're not married, okay? But they might as well be married because they've been together that long. And the kid sees them as mom and dad, married couple, and everything. It is far better they split up and opposed to living together, and they're unhappy because that kid is going to grow up in a house where mom and dad don't love each other, don't trust each other, a lot of fighting, a lot of drama. No kid should be that environment. It's better that the kid grows up in a household where mom and dad are separated. At least one of the parents is normal and happy. And by the way, the kid is 2 years old. So the kid is not that old. The kid will certainly know what's going on, but not to the extent of, say, if the kid was, in elementary school, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. That's a different ballgame. But even then, staying with her after this, that's ridiculous. This guy is a freaking idiot. But you're going to have people out there like this sharing their opinions. Another guy says here, don't buckle to any of her demands to meet up and discuss things until you sort out your feelings. I'd recommend not communicating over the phone either, and tell your friends and your family to circle the wagons around you for the safety of you and your son. I say all this because she was brazen enough to cheat right in front of you in such a manner that there's no telling what kind of BS she's capable of pulling or has pulled in the past. Yes, that's what I've been thinking since the second I read this guy's story. Don't carry any shame or guilt for this when you're clearly giving your all to secure a better future for your family. It's pathetic that she wasn't able to see that, but that doesn't diminish your worth or make your efforts worthless, my friend. Your son will appreciate in the future how well you were able to handle yourself now in the face of adversity, and that will show him how to properly handle disrespect as a man. Stay strong and lean on those around you for support until you can make the best decision for you and your son. Amen. And you know what? He will, guys, because all these guys, or at least the majority, do make it out in the end, and they're all right. It's obviously they go through hard times, but we all go through hard times. And when hard times come, and they always will, we can decide either to let those hard times destroy us and make us crumble, or we can persevere and get through it. It makes us stronger. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. So any of you guys out there going through some shit right now, know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You will be okay. Surround yourself with people that have your back, the family members that have your back, the friends that have your back. Get out. Do some exercise. Even go for a walk through your neighborhood. Something. Because when you exercise, you do feel better. The endorphins go. And just avoid things like drugs and alcohol and eating shit food to make yourself feel better. It will only make you feel worse. And don't take these people back into your life. No way. But he will get through it. So guys, he handled this like it's sad this happened to a good man, but sadly this happens a lot. But I'm glad he handled it the way he did. Get the F out. We're done. End of story. I wish him the best. I'm going to keep an eye out for any updates here. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think about this. Give this guy a shout out. Give this guy some praise. He definitely could use it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.